Hi, I'm Greg, and welcome to My Gregarious World. Please like and subscribe, and click on the notification bell so you'll be notified when a new episode is released. Today is our 7th day on board the Norwegian Pearl, and after 4 consecutive days at sea, we are scheduled to dock in Reykjavik around 1 p.m. We had lunch at Ocean's, where we shared nachos for our appetizer. For my main course, I had a hamburger, and Karen had the fettuccine alfredo. We enjoyed our meal while we watched the pilot boat lead us into Reykjavik and finished our carrot cake dessert just as we docked. Since we had scheduled a 3:30 p.m. Puffin watching tour with Puffin Express, we needed to get off the ship as soon as possible in order to meet our transfer. So Karen and I went to our cabin to change into our warm clothing while the ship cleared customs. Earlier in the day, we were informed that the ship would be offering free bus transportation to and from Harpa Concert Hall near the Reykjavik city centre. We had already booked private transportation offered by Puffin Express, and we're glad we did because the lines for the free bus were long, especially after 4 days at sea. Guests were eager to get off the ship. Our driver dropped us off at the Puffin Express tour office next to the old harbour with plenty of time to spare. The weather was cloudy and misty, but not as cold as it looked. We met our captain and guide, then boarded a small tour boat with about 10 other guests and headed out towards a small island known for being a habitat for puffins and other seabirds.
So, right now we are sailing out of Reykjavik Old Harbour, and we can see a few islands that are close from us. So if you are inside the boat or outside, on the front left side of the boat, we have Akurey. Akurey is our main island, the one that we prefer to take everybody, because it's one of the biggest colony. It's focused, 30,000 puffins live there. So usually, now is the beginning of the season, we need to wait until the middle of July, something like that, to have the complete population of the island.
We had some spectacular views of Reykjavik on our way to the island. Puffin season had just started, so we were lucky to see the beginning of the puffins' arrival to Iceland.
See on the picture here, with some of you, puffins are crossing the peaks. The problem here is that puffins are only staying in Iceland, the ones that we have here, for 4 months. It's a migratory bird. So 1 week and a half ago, season starts. It's usually middle end of April until the end of August. Once the season finishes, they will take a flight, they will go away.
The boat stopped for a while in front of the island, and we had a chance to watch the puffins taking off into flight. They were very quick, and it was hard to get a photo. The waters were calm, and although it did rain, we had an unforgettable experience seeing the puffins in their natural habitat. We both loved the tour and would highly recommend Puffin Express. We booked the tour through Get Your Guide, but I'm certain you can book directly through Puffin Express. The cost was approximately $50 and the transfer from the ship to the old harbor was about $20. We paid everything in advance or by credit card, so we didn't purchase any Icelandic krona, but we did tip in US dollars.
Thank you for the tour. That was really cool.
We had light rain as we walked to our next planned stop, the iconic Bæjarins Bestu Pilsur, which translates to the town's best hot dogs and has been renowned in Iceland since 1937. Bill Clinton famously visited this hot dog stand and claimed it was the best hot dog he had in his life. Kim Kardashian and Justin Bieber also stopped here for a hot dog while in Reykjavik. The hot dog is a mixture of lamb, beef, and pork in a natural casing. It's recommended to order the dog with all the toppings, which include Icelandic ketchup made with applesauce, as well as sweet brown mustard, mayo relish dressing, fried crispy onions, and raw onions. A hot dog costs about $5 and you can pay by credit card. It was really delicious, and I especially loved the crispy fried onions. After about a 10-minute walk, we found our next destination, Rainbow Street. You can't miss seeing it because the entire street is painted like a rainbow. It's a cheerful photo op, bringing a pop of color to a dreary, cloudy day. And the Hallsgrímskirkja Lutheran Church on the horizon is the icing on the cake. Rainbow Street is the main shopping street in Reykjavik. It's lined with little shops, cafes, and restaurants. We specifically were looking for the Hand Knitting Association of Iceland store. Our daughter asked us to buy a Lopapeysa hand-knitted lamb's wool sweater for her. When she was in Iceland during her undergraduate studies, she bought an inexpensive, lower quality Lopapeysa, and now she wanted a better quality one. We found the Hand Knitting Association store, where we were certain to find a high-quality, hand-knitted sweater. The distinguishing feature of a Lopapeysa is the curved design around the neck. The Icelandic lamb's wool is nearly waterproof and very warm. The Hand Knitting Association of Iceland had a huge selection of authentic handmade sweaters and other wool items. We chose a sweater with a unique puffin design. It was pricey at 41,000 krona, that's about $300, but it will be an unforgettable and useful souvenir from Iceland. After purchasing the sweater, we hurried down Rainbow Street to the church. Hallsgrímskirkja Lutheran Church was finished in 1986, so it's a relatively new church. There's an elevator that will take you up in the tower. Unfortunately, the church was closed when we were there, so we couldn't go into the church or up the tower. The view from the tower is supposed to be amazing. In front of the church is a monument to the Viking Leif Erikson. The statue was a present to the Icelandic people from the United States to honor the 1000th anniversary of Iceland's parliament. Before we headed back to the ship, we still had one more thing we wanted to do in Reykjavik. That was to try a local delicacy we had heard much about, fermented shark. There is a restaurant called Cafe Loki across from the Viking monument known to serve it, so we dropped in to give it a try.
So here we are in Iceland, Cafe Loki. This is fermented shark. After I take a piece and put it in my mouth, it was recommended that I chew it for about 15 seconds. And then the taste will change and it will probably release an ammonia flavor. And then they recommend you take a sip of this black death. Black death is the English term for what the local hooch is. Here we go. Now that's really good. It's got a taste of anise. It's an anise taste to it. But that fermented shark was very, it's like eating ammonia.
I'm glad we tried the fermented shark, but I wouldn't do it again. It was horrible. The cost of 4 small pieces of fermented shark and a shot of Brennivin was 2,500 krona, or about $18. The restaurant staff was kind enough to call a taxi, which took us back to the ship, and we got ready for a late dinner at the Summer Palace. Our selections for dinner included cream of spinach soup, potato gnocchi with pesto cream sauce, sun-dried tomatoes, and pine nuts, Hungarian goulash with little button noodles, milk chocolate mousse with lemon curd, port wine sauce, and orange cookie crunch.
So after a long day in Reykjavik, touring around and taking a Puffin tour, I was a little bit chilled to the bone because it was a little damp and rainy. But after a nice dinner and a show, I decided to get in the hot tub and relax. Cheers!
Please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when our review of the Pearl's specialty restaurants becomes available.